Welcome to the Zingspirations. My name's Nat Allen and I run a little yoga and core fitness studio in Palmerston, North New Zealand. These Zingspirations are a chance for those people that get the written version of Zing each week to see the person behind the writing, aka me, and also to hear a little bit extra around the Zing itself, sometimes how it came about, sometimes a little bit of extra around how to implement some of the things in the Zingspirations, and sometimes just a bit of a laugh from me. I hope you enjoy them. You can find the Zingspirations at zingsessions.wordpress.com or at Zing Sessions on Facebook, and you can become a member there. Kia ora and welcome to the Zingspiration for this week. This week's Zing is inspired by last week when we talked about New Year's resolutions, and what I found when I was talking to people was that the resolutions have started to wear off and it's only the middle of January, and people were wondering how can we stay on track. And I found that for a lot of people it's important to take themselves seriously about their New Year's resolutions. That doesn't mean taking the resolutions seriously, it means taking themselves seriously. And I think there's a little bit of a difference there. And also I managed to say during the Zing that they need to cut themselves some slack at the same time. And some people might see those two things as being opposed to each other, but they're not. Taking yourself seriously is about putting your oxygen mask on first. That means that you are a better husband, wife, lover, partner, mother, father, teacher, student, you, when you're looking after yourself. And looking after yourself gives you the capacity to carry out the things that you want to do, and that might include some New Year's resolutions around health or well-being. It might involve looking after yourself better in terms of your work or your creativity. And again, it's about that idea that we take ourselves seriously. Life doesn't have to be serious. You can still have fun, you can still party, you can still do all those things, but it's about taking your own sense of self seriously. And I also mentioned in the Zing that it might help to have a pit crew. And your pit crew are the people that support you in what you're doing. They support you to be a more authentic version of you. And that might be giving you the occasional boot in the bum. It might be picking you up out of the mud every now and then and dusting you off and telling you to give it another go. Because sometimes when we're trying something new or creating change, we might find that we fall over. And that can bring out our inner critic. And so the cutting yourself some slack side of this week's Zing is the idea that every now and then you need to give yourself a pat on the back, and you need to realise that you need some time out, some time off. You need to take it easy on yourself. New Year's resolutions can become an excuse to give yourself a hard time. And for those of you that have already got some pretty well established self-sabotage techniques, creating a whole heap of New Year's resolutions that you know you're not going to keep is definitely one of those ways of self-sabotaging. So cutting yourself some slack means being gentle on yourself, and means being a little bit careful about how much pressure you put on in this whole taking yourself seriously side of things. So few things there. One is take yourself seriously, your oxygen mask first, so that you're that better person for everybody around you, including yourself. Second is grab the pit crew, and that might mean some pruning of the old pit crew if they don't support the changes that you're making, and that might mean that you create an online pit crew, so inspiration pieces and things to keep you going and focused. And thirdly, cut yourself some slack. If you feel that inner critic kicking in, or you know that your self-sabotage side's coming out, cut yourself some slack, take a break, go for a walk, change the environment you're in, but be nice to yourself, and most of all, stick at it. You're worth it. So, on top of everything else, value yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next Inspiration. Don't forget you can find a written version of this at zingsessions.wordpress.com. That's zingsessions.wordpress.com, and many blessings.